Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm gonna do kind of my little talking whatever chat video. I'm gonna try to make this quick. I tried to film this once already, and I'm really hot, and it's too hot here in Oregon to be sitting in here without the fan. So we're gonna kind of go this quick. Let's just say I had a burnout this week. I've been so, or let me tell, how do I explain this? I have been wanting to schedule my reading again, and I can't help that because I am a planner scheduler by trade. It's what I do every day at work. I do that when I'm doing things. I think of, okay, what do I need to hit? What do I want to do? And I do that all the time, and I feel I get into the mode that I want to do it with my reading, and I think it's gonna work this time. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work for me. And it's really funny. I am really a mood reader at heart. And I think that's why I love so many different genres, and why I'm able to read so many is because I don't want to read the same thing all the time. Anyway, I mean, it's just, I've had really up and downs this year about my reading. I've had some excellent rereads, and I'm a big rereader, so I'm still going to be doing rereads. I mean, that's just the way it is for me. But I also need to kind of curb back when I do readathons or read-alongs, or like I need to be aware of what I'm doing. So Jane Austen July was one of the best ones I did, because I almost did my full TBR on that, and I hit a lot more books than I planned because I gave myself space to make those decisions of making choices. And I think what I did wrong here, and Women in Translation, our readathon just kind of the brunt got hit, as I had been reading some of that Women in Translation during the month, and then I went into it full force on the weekend, and I'm just tired of that same kind of book. Now, they're not anything alike. All those books are from different countries and written by different people, different women. But I think it's just I found that they're in some ways alike, because a lot of them were contemporary when they were written, and because some of them are modern classics and some are nowadays, so, or in the last 20 years. But my problem is that I don't read I don't read contemporaries very often, and I think so many translation books are contemporaries of that time, and a lot of books that I own are contemporaries of their time. So I found that reading too many of them in a row is a problem for me, and reading contemporary is a problem for me for too often too. So I still have to be careful about this. So yes, Cooper is here to help us. Anyway, so I guess what I'm just wanting to vent a little bit is that I burnt out on reading translated works, and I don't like it. I did finish 5 books for the month, 3 in the last couple days, and then 2 before that. And that is still really good. I think I made an effort. I read a couple of books off my shelf. Unfortunately, I still read some library books too. So I'm still not making progress. I'm still getting too many books in my library, which I need to cut back on. But, so what am I trying to say here? So, I guess I just kind of want to find out what other people think, like, as in what happens when they're like, okay, here, let's go a little story time here. So last night I had trouble reading one of the books I was reading. And again, I'm reading 2 physical books and then 1 audiobook. And they're all hard-hitting in their different ways. So they're harder reads. They're not ones you can just breeze through. You want to read want to know what you're reading, comprehension-wise. I want to read these books. They're very fascinating, all of them. But I just was finding it hard to pick up last night. And I thought, well, maybe it's just I'm tired, because that happens. It was Tuesday, whatever. And then this morning, I didn't want to listen to the audiobook on the way into work. I just didn't feel like it. And then I got to lunchtime, and usually I read my book when I go to the lunchroom, and I took it with me, but I just couldn't get myself to read it. So, Kitty's not gonna like this, but I need to hold this up. But I couldn't do it, so I had to turn my phone on, and I had to switch. Yeah, so this is urban fantasy. This is Woodcutter Werebear, book 2 of the Saw Bears series by T.S. Joyce. And I read the first book last month, and it was just cute. So it's totally fun. I had to turn off my brain, and this was just fun. And what I felt about this is that I was not going to read unless I picked something else. Like, I kept looking at that book and just going, I can't pick that up. I don't want to pick that up. I know, and I know something bad's going to happen here in a second. I don't want to read it. And so I went for a plot-driven book, or genre fiction, or whatever you want to classify what I changed to. And I feel like that was the better move for me at that moment. So I still have the 3 books that are from Women in Translation currently reading. It's not like they're going away. They're not going away. I'm never getting these things off my TBR. No, I'm kidding. Yes, Cooper. Anyway, I guess I don't know. I'm trying to get this out, and it's just not coming out. And it kind of is after work, so I'm tired. The kitties want me to go sit down on the couch, but I guess I'm looking at seeing how other people feel when they are all enthusiastic about a readathon or a read-along or anything, and then suddenly they just can't. And I feel like I hit that wall today. I don't want to read these books anymore. I still want to read them in the future. I still think that they're very good books, and I am, excited to still find out what happens. But not right now. Right now, my brain is going, no, you need to read some other books. And, one of them happens to be an urban fantasy, or paranormal romance or whatever it is. And just move on and just do something else for a little bit. And then maybe come back to these one at a time and not all at once. I just feel like I got too many, and again, the books are not like similar. Their plots and characters and countries are all very different. It was just so much of that kind of reading. And for some reason, that was what bothered me. And I think I just needed fun. I know that and it may be because I've been seeing the literary book tag or whatever's been going around recently. And people are defining, literary fiction. Maybe it's a literary fiction book tag. Anyway. And I don't want to do that book tag because I really have trouble with literary fiction in how people define it, how people think about it, and and there's reasons I don't read as much of it as maybe I would like to, is because it's so contemporary in that time frame. Most of the times they're not. I mean, there are a lot of what I would say literary fiction that are historical fiction, and those are easier for me to digest for some reason because it's a historical context. I don't know. There's something about a contemporary ones that I just find, I don't want to say too real, but like just it's too close to certain, it's just not, I don't know how to explain that. Maybe that's my problem, is I don't know why it turns me off to read. I really have trouble with contemporary romances. And it could just be their what they have in their tropes and things like that, and they're just not the ones I enjoy. Sorry, phone's going off. But I also feel the same way about just normal. Stop it, phone. Sorry. A lot of the Women in Translation books I have are contemporaries for that time period, and they're very fascinating in showing that slice of life of those characters. And I think they're done really well. And that I know why that's important to see that. And I like that. It's just, I can't read that many of them in a row. And I think that's where my problem lies, is that I read so many books that I would say were contemporary fiction, even if they were from different countries and even different timelines. Like 2 of the books that I was reading, well, actually 3 of them are all historical to me. They're all, I mean, they're classics, modern classics. So they're written in, like 2 of them were written in the 20s and one was written in the 40s. But still they're contemporaries to me because they're contemporaries of that time period. They were written in those time periods, or, well, maybe one was a historical fiction. Never mind. So there's 2 of them. One in the 20s, one in the 40s. But the point is that it's written in a certain way that, you know, they're harder to read. I'm still rambling about this. Okay, let me just say that sometimes I feel that I get involved in projects, and again, I don't do this. I'm not one to go all out and plan everything I read, but once in a while I'll plan too much, and I found that I'm starting to plan too much again. I have huge lists for stuff I want to read for Space Opera September. I have a huge, gigantic list for Victober. And Nonfiction November, I haven't written a list. I have a whole bookshelf of books that, well, I mean, it's not fully, half of those, most of them, a quarter of them I've read probably, but I have a lot of them I want to read. And so I don't have to worry about Nonfiction November. I just have to go over there and look at and then also go onto my Audible account and I'll have plenty. But I still have these lists, which I love lists. I do love lists of things that I want to read. And I do own more books than I will possibly read in the next, 6 or 7 years. And I keep buying books. And so I'm definitely going to keep collecting. I'm not going to go into my book buying problems again, because we will deal with that at another one of these talks. Because I have talked about that quite a bit. But I just want to know if anybody else has done that, where they're really gung-ho about one of the readathons or read-alongs, and then you get into it and you just hit a wall and you're like, oh no, this is not happening. And I've felt like I had to come to my senses and go, okay, look, I'm not enjoying this. It's not the book's fault. It really is me. I'm the one who's going, I'm done. Like, I need to move on. I need to read something else. And today at lunch, that was when that moment hit, and I go, look, I just got to move on. And yes, I'm going to have 3 books sitting on my currently reading that I don't want to be there, but I'm hoping in the next couple months I'll feel like picking up one at a time and trying to get through them, and I think I'll still enjoy them. It's just I can't do any more right now, and as much as I want to take more part in this readathon for women in translation, which I think is a fantastic thing, I have read 5 books. Yes, I'm in the middle of 3 more, but the point is I read 5 this month, 3 within this week. And so I feel like, okay, I still kind of won, but I'm still, like, going forward, I have 3 month-long readathons that I want to take part in. And I just have to not schedule myself or think I'm going to read everything. And I'm definitely not going to stick to the same genre all month. I just know I can't do this anymore. Even for Victober, which I loved, I found out last year I couldn't do it all month anymore, especially if I had a bad book, or it was not... It was a bad book to me, not to other people. But it derailed me so bad that it knocked me out. I'm not reading anything. So I need to be much more restrictive in what books I really want to focus on. So I think going forward, I'm going to kind of go rogue, as I said. And I know that, like, Space Opera September and Victober and even Nonfiction November will have some prompts. And I think I'm just going to say, I pick 4 books for those month-long readathons, and I'm going to pick 4 books, and then I'll try to read 1 a week. It might not work out exactly that way, but I'm going to pick out 4 books, and then I'll let myself pick out 1 or 2 other books for the month and keep my TBR to like 6, so that I technically read, I normally read about 10 to 12 books right now. I'm doing pretty good in the last couple of months. So, but I would say average overall usually is about 8 to 12. And some months, like this month, I've read a lot more. I think I'm closer to the 14 mark right now. But I've slowed down. I stopped. Like, as much as I would love to get those other 3 done in the next couple days, which I could if I felt like it, but I don't. So I think I'm going to just keep my TBRs to a minimum again, but be really strict about this, especially for the month-long readathons, because I really want to be able to maneuver, and I need to have space for rereads, and I need to have space to change genres or read something on the fly. And yes, I'm still going to pick up library books, which I shouldn't get so many from the library, but I still like the idea of getting things and, you know, reading them right away. And I also like getting a book and maybe actually read a book that I bought this month and read it this month. You know, it's like I did a couple of those this month, which was, well, I did one of them this month. Still, it's pretty good for me. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making any sense, and I've rambled way more than I meant to. So I guess I just want to talk about it. And how do you guys feel? Do you ever get that feeling where you just hit a wall and you're like, I'm not doing this anymore? And I've reached it. And unfortunately, I hate to say it was in this readathon, which I really, really enjoy. It's not its fault. It's just, I think my mind, with things at work going on and just my own mental stress of stuff going on, that I can't continue forcing myself to read more of the same kind of things, even though they're not the same, like, but my mind thinks they are right now, so I need to change it up. So I'm gonna go read my urban fantasy this evening, and I guess it's really a paranormal romance, but whatever, I don't care. It's one of those, and then I might pick up something else to reread. I still have another David Eddings to reread, or I might pick up something else. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to read. Right now I feel a little free because I'm not going to pick up another Women in Translation, and it's not it's not that's fault. But I am going to try to do better about working in a book or two a month of all the ones that I have sitting out that I was going to read. Because I really want to get these done. And then as I said, I'll definitely work in the ones that I started. They're my currently reading. So anyway, I cannot talk short. So that is it. Any comments? Let me know. What do you think? What do you do? Do you guys do? I mean, that was a wall I hit. And yes, I went with paranormal romance. Anyway, so I will go and sit by the fan now. I need a drink. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.